Have you ever thought about how an ordinary day can turn into an extraordinary adventure? Imagine yourself in a park, enjoying a quiet walk, and suddenly, an unexpected event changes the course of your life. This is the story of Laura and Marco, a couple who lived an incredible experience, capable of touching anyone's heart. Stay with us until the end to find out how this chance encounter transformed their lives forever. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss other exciting stories. Every now and then in life, we are faced with events that seem orchestrated by fate itself. One wonders if everything happens by chance or if every encounter, every situation, has a deeper meaning. That spring morning, Laura did not know that her simple desire to take a walk in the park would lead her on a journey that would change her life. Laura and Marco's story is an example of how decisions made in a moment of compassion and love can have extraordinary and lasting repercussions. It was a warm spring morning when Laura woke up in her luxurious bedroom. The sun's rays filtered through the curtains, promising a perfect day for a stroll in the park. After a light breakfast, she dressed in an elegant cream-colored dress and a hat to protect herself from the sun. He said goodbye to his driver and had himself driven to the park, his favorite weekend retreat. Laura came from a wealthy family and married Marco, a successful businessman. Although their life was comfortable, Laura often felt lonely as Marco traveled frequently for work. They had no children, and this weighed heavily on Laura, even if she didn't admit it openly. During her walk in the park, Laura came across a heartbreaking scene. Behind some bushes, he found a small child crying desperately. "Hello, darling, why are you crying?" she asked sweetly. The child, named Simone, replied through sobs that he couldn't find his mother. Laura felt deeply touched and decided to help him look for her. After comforting him, she took Simone's hand and they began to explore the park. Despite their efforts, they were unable to find Simone's mother. Laura, worried about the drop in temperature, decided to immediately notify the police. After reporting the found child and giving all the necessary information, Laura, worried about the situation, decided to take him home with her. The authorities assured her that they would contact her as soon as they had news. Exhausted, Simone fell asleep on Laura's lap during the limousine ride to their villa. Once home, Laura placed Simone on a comfortable sofa and covered him with a blanket. She prepared a snack for him and waited patiently for him to wake up. When Simone woke up, Laura greeted him with a reassuring smile and a cup of warm milk. "Where are we?" asked the little boy. "We're at my house. You'll be safe here while we find your mommy," Laura replied. Shortly after, Marco returned from work. He was surprised to see his wife with an unknown child. Laura explained the situation, and although initially reluctant, Marco accepted that Simone should stay with them until they found his parents. That night, Laura put Simone to bed and stayed to watch over him, feeling a strong maternal instinct awakening inside her. The next morning, she took Simone to the pediatrician to make sure he was healthy. Days passed and no missing person reports reached the police. Laura and Marco began to grow deeply attached to Simone, who filled their home with joy and laughter. Meanwhile, the next day, the doctor confirmed that Simone was in good health, which reassured Laura. Let's stop for a moment. Have you ever become attached to someone in such a short time? Tell us about it in the comments. While Laura and Simone were playing in the garden, Marco watched them and began to seriously consider the idea of adopting the child. One evening, after putting Simone to bed, Laura proposed to Marco to officially adopt him. Much to Marco's surprise, he accepted, eager to make his wife happy and give Simone a family. Thus began the adoption process. They attended adoptive parenting courses and completed all the required formalities. During the process, they developed an even stronger bond with Simone, whom they now considered their son. Simone's happiness was evident every day. His laughter filled the house and his eyes shone with joy. While discovering new toys or listening to the bedtime stories Laura loved to tell him, Marco, despite his initial doubts, found himself enjoying the moments spent with Simone, discovering a new dimension of being a parent. During the weekends, the family devoted themselves to various activities: bike rides, afternoons at the park, and evenings watching movies under the covers. Simone seemed to blossom in that loving environment, and Laura and Marco felt more and more complete. If you like this video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more exciting stories. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next content. We guarantee you'll see some great stuff. As they awaited the court's final verdict, an unexpected twist changed everything. One day, a woman named Rosa showed up at their door, claiming to be Simone's maternal grandmother. He told them how his daughter had died in an accident and how he had desperately searched for his grandson. Rosa explained that she had lost sight of Simone in the park that fateful day, when he learned that a wealthy family had found and taken him in. She had initially thought of leaving him with them, convinced that he would have a better life. However, the guilt and the desire to see her grandson again became too strong, pushing her to show up at the family's house to hug him again. Laura and Marco were shocked, but they understood that Rosa was telling the truth. After an emotional discussion, they decided to find a solution that would take Simone's best interest into account. They decided to share custody, allowing Rosa to see her grandson often. Simone, happy to have two families who loved him, quickly adapted to the new situation. Laura and Marco realized that, even though they had to share their love for Simone with Rosa, they had gained an extended family and a happiness they had never known before. They began planning vacations together, alternating between Laura and Marco's house and Rosa's. Every occasion was good to celebrate together, creating new unforgettable memories. Simone was the center of this large family, loved and pampered by all. Laura and Marco's life changed radically that day at the park, and thanks to Simone and Rosa, they discovered the true meaning of family. A simple, anonymous walk turned into an adventure that enriched their lives, proving that love can really be around the corner. And remember, which as a person dear to me says, what doesn't happen in a lifetime happens in a minute.